Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Expert Speaker Podcast, where we help speakers get their message out there in a bigger way. Today we have an incredible guest. As I was starting this podcast, people were saying, you gotta talk to Lisa LaJoie. Ran into her at a trade show, begged her and pleaded her, please share your wisdom with my audience. Lisa LaJoie is an intuitive business coach. She is the intuitive for business owners. She helps people channel their energy, manage their energy. She says there's an energy to your business. There's an energy to your customer. There's an energy to you. And as speakers, we got to bring that energy. And Lisa is a speaker herself, runs workshops and retreats and trainings, helps people like me, like you, the speaker, manage your energy so that you can show up and be brilliant. Welcome to the Expert Speaker Podcast, Lisa.
Hello. Super happy to be here. What an intro. Woo! I love it.
Thank you. So how did you get into this energy business?
Oh, great question. So it was not by choice. It was by design, like I was born this way. I was born able to see the unseen. I was born able to kind of connect to people and their energy and, just what's going on with them. And I got into it because it was a calling. Like I couldn't kind of let go of this ability I had to see things, foresee things. And then I realized, you know what, if I can tune in and use it to help people benefit and, become successful, because I can help them understand what to avoid, how to activate the better parts of themselves and opportunities, how to learn how to manage themselves and people and their businesses, because, energy, we feel things, but sometimes people don't know how to interpret what they're getting. So I said, but you know what, I'm going to do it. If I can serve people in this bigger way to accelerate their success, I'm in. So that's the short version of kind of how I got into this, because it became obvious to me that what I could see about what was going on, what I can tune into, when I was able to give actionable advice to people, it really helped them. It helped them avoid problems. It helped them create bigger success in their decision-making and what they were doing. So yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. So you have to forgive me because I don't consider myself a magical energy person. So I'm very unfamiliar with the proper terms, but I'm listening very carefully and I'm hearing you say that you see things.
Yeah.
Are you saying visually, like you can see energetic fields and auras and that sort of thing? Like you can just,
exactly.
Yeah, you can. Wow.
I can, and I can also tune in as an empath, like just sense and know. There's also like everything has a frequency. So everything has a past, a present, and a future. Every energy, every decision, everything. And so I can tune into possibilities, because you know how we manifest, intention creates momentum. And so as you try to manifest in your life, there's a vibe around what you're trying to do. And people feel it, sense it, know it, and so I can kind of get in touch with that and get in touch with what's going on.
And can you do that remotely? Can you see my aura and feel my vibe through the screen here, or do we need to be in the same room?
No, I can tune in with you. What I do is I get permission from you. You say, yeah, go ahead. And then I'm able to kind of get a feel through, it's like a tuning fork. I tune into your energy and what's going on with you. And, of course, the remote, you don't need to be in front of me. Your energy's everywhere,
Okay. So I want to hear about how you got into speaking and workshops and retreats. And then I want you to share how people like me and other speakers can manage our energies a little bit better. Well, let's just start with your path with the work that you do. And when did you start getting on stages, invited to speak? And when did you start the retreats and the workshops? How'd that all unfold?
It started, so around probably like 15, 16 years ago, I had this calling which came back, and I said, you know what, I really want to teach people. So I started to apply to speak anywhere. So I spoke in colleges, I created classes, courses, workshops. I started to get invited to speak at retreats based on my knowledge around spirituality, intuition, how to develop yourself. And then from there, I built this business tapping into it, right? So I built this business. I'm like, okay, now what? Where do we go with this? And I realized that educating people is, you touch more people, you reach more people. It's like speaking. So I started to create more and more workshops around the work that I was doing to help people really become masterful in the areas of my expertise. So it started just from an organic desire to help people learn about what they don't know that I know. And from there, it's just grown into like, this deeper desire to just share more and help people transform and really help them know what to do, and to give those tools to say, here's what you do. Like, here's how you manage your energy. Here's how you stay tuned in. Here's how you do, spiritual practice, whatever it is. Here's how you become masterful at sharing who you are in the world, and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. You're a master. You really are. Just who you are you're masterful, So this kind of how it just came from, this raw desire to share,
So I want to zoom in on two things. One is getting invited to other people's retreats, and the other is hosting your own workshops. And I totally understand the raw desire to share. And I believe almost all of our audience has that raw desire to share. And they're saying to themselves, that's nice. I got the desire. I got the wisdom. I got the knowledge. How do I get paid? Or how do I do this and not go broke? And the one thing I think is a dream for a lot of people is to host a retreat. And after hosting many retreats, my new dream is getting invited to other people's retreats, because you know how much work it is to run a retreat. So gosh, I would just love to get off the plane, get picked up by the limo, go to the retreat, do my magic, and say, I'll stick around and enjoy the beauty here. And I know you did Morocco not long ago. And if I'm not mistaken, it was someone else's retreat that you were invited to go to. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
How do you get invited to other people's retreats? Are they paying? Is this a profitable thing? Is this an easy thing? Would you recommend people do that? Get invited to other people's retreats? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend you do that. Where do you start? First of all, with all the connections that you have. So what I did, I'll use Morocco as an example. This is a connection for me. It's somebody that I know and who is close to me. And I just said, you know what? I see myself coming. It was as simple as that. I see myself contributing.
You can do that as a spiritual, intuitive person. You can say, I see myself coming, and they'll go, oh, she knows the future. I see myself coming. That's
exactly. And so it rolled out from there. And she, we sat, we had a meeting, we talked about it. And, I would say, here's how I think that I could benefit or contribute and make a benefit for you with your audience and the people coming. And it made sense. So because it made sense, it became a natural, progressive thing. And I think that's what we need to find when we're trying to look for where to get invited. We need to find where we really can serve and where we feel aligned with the topic and the retreat. And once you have that desire, people will feel it when you say, you know what, I think that could be interesting. So just starting with, I'm just willing to take a risk and ask. That's the first thing. Then, of course, there's the way of like having a lay of the land, a speaker kit and all these things, a retreat kit. I think we should have a retreat kit. Like, here's what I can do in your retreat. Here's how I want to get engaged. Here's what I would offer here. For me, it's like the meditations I would do, the contribution I would make. I would share it with my audience. And it becomes like a flowing experience with the people that you're offering or trying to connect with to get invited to the experience, and then you kind of become known for that because people start talking about it. You know what I mean? They start talking about your contribution, how you did what you offered,
Okay, let me say a couple of them back to you. So have the courage to ask, and in asking, share your vision for service to that retreat.
Absolutely.
Which you had this beautiful vision. You said, this is how I see it going down. And they're like, wow, that sounds amazing. And then actually be organized enough to have some sort of a document or a package that says, here's what I do when I go to people's retreats. And, I can do this, I can do that. I'll share your retreat with my audience. I'll bring these bells and whistles with me. And that allows you to do it systematically more often. And then, of course, you build a reputation for being an amazing contributor to a retreat. So it becomes easier.
Yeah. And the thing too is the very important nugget of gold is you're willing to go, because not everybody can go to different places in the world, and not everybody wants to travel. And it opens up, you become limitless because you're willing to show up to a situation like that, and you have to let people know, like, I'm willing to, and also the meeting you have with the person you're talking with, you have to take the time to look at what the retreat is, to really feel out what makes sense for you to offer that's not being offered. You know what I mean? And so it's inspiring to the person that you're speaking to who's hosting the retreat. It becomes interesting for them to have you there. You
Yeah,
know?
because you're coming to the table, you did your homework, you looked at what they've got already.
Yeah.
You're not just saying, this is what I have, take it or leave it. That's great.
Yeah.
And then what's a typical money arrangement? Are they paying you a fee? Are you doing it pro bono and paying your own flight and hoping maybe you're going to get some clients out of it? Or how does that typically work?
There's a variety of options. So both of those are options. They pay for everything, and they also pay you for the time that you're there. There's you go, they pay for your ticket, they pay for your retreat, they pay for your food, they pay for everything, and basically you contribute to the event at, you know, whatever is agreeable to both of you. And then there's you go and you leave. You could go, you stay there, they pay you for your time, they pay you for your flight, they pay you for everything that's required for you to rest there, and then you can be off. It depends on what you really feel as a person as well. So you negotiate that, and it depends on what if it's a high-end retreat or not, because sometimes it's not affordable, and sometimes you know, for me, I have negotiated where I had my flight taken care of, I had my time taken care of, and I walked away with lots of clients and lots of exposure, and that
Yep.
was okay with me.
Yep.
You know, you have to really discern, hey, is this going to be really profitable for me, even in clientele? Or do I need to have the money? Like you have to know yourself, I think, and what makes sense to you. Who is hosting the retreat is most important, and what you feel in your heart as well. You know.
Thank you. Okay, so that covers how to get invited to other people's retreats. Great ideas there. Now, workshops.
Yeah.
A lot of our listeners, they go, man, if I can get a room full of people, I could just blow their minds for 3 hours,
Yeah.
8 hours. My
Yep.
question to you is, how do you get the people to come and pay for the workshop? How do you fill the room?
Hustle.
Break down the hustle step.
Hustle.
Yeah.
I will. I'm just being funny. Yeah, you have to start sharing what you do. So the first and most important thing is do a workshop for nothing, for free, zero. Just come. Do it on Zoom. Do it on Facebook. Do it anywhere you can. Invite people you know are interested in your content. You could, if you're a beginner and you've never done it, you have never hosted a workshop, do it for free. I have to tell you, like, I built my business on doing that. You know what I mean? So often people are like, oh, I deserve money. And then it's like, you know what? When you're trying to get an audience and you're brand new and you've never done it before, for free is really a nice way to go.
Yeah.
Just sharing and exchanging. And then at one point, people get to know you, love you. And then you start doing the normal marketing. You start exposing yourself. You talk about the topics. You do Facebook Lives. You get yourself out there to talk about what you're, you know, interested in sharing. Workshops also, you get sponsors. You get people who are interested in your audience that will be there, and they will also bring people, which becomes very interesting because they'll come as a sponsor, and then they also they also will bring 5 people with them. That becomes part of your deal, and naturally and organically, you all of a sudden have a successful workshop. You know what I mean? And the most important thing I could say is you have to be fearless about asking, you know, and asking the right people, not just asking anybody, but asking people that would really be interested in the content and the people that are coming. And that spreads the word pretty easily.
How do you ask, Lisa? Do you say, I had a vision and I see you coming to my workshop?
Sometimes, because that's true, I do say that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just say, I really think this would serve you and the people that you serve. You know what I mean? So I would love it if you came. And depending on the circumstance and the conversation, you know, sometimes, you know, you're getting people to show up and you're giving them, you know, a free spot, but you're letting them, you know, have a discount on 5 tickets. You really have to negotiate your sales to get people in the door. And eventually what happens is people know you and love you, and they don't care about paying the price that you're asking because they just love you and want to know you. But I'm talking about really like people who don't know how to create a workshop, who don't know how to create a buzz around who they are. The other thing is, in the workshop, your content has to be interesting. Don't put people to sleep. Unfortunately, it happens often. You're putting people to sleep. Be interactive, really get engaged, fire them up, challenge the people in your workshop, help them learn, give them so much that they can't help but talk about you after.
Did you learn how to do that, Lisa? Like, did you take some how to deliver active workshops training, or was this a gift for you, or did you figure this out over time?
Well, two things. One is that it's a bit of a gift because I feel the buzz, you know, I get really excited about my work. So that's
Yeah.
number one. You know, you love your work, you're excited to share it. I'm a little bit, you know, I have a lot of courage. So that's a definite benefit. Some people have to work on the courage, so it's harder for them. And then I just recognized what people like and got feedback. You know, I asked people that I would invite certain friends that are at a caliber, and I said, just come. I want your feedback. That's what matters to me. And so I got really good feedback about what I was doing, and I
Okay.
learned that way. What do people want and what they don't want? You know what I mean? So yeah.
So I like that you said just do it. Do it for free if you yeah, I mean if you're just getting started, do it for free. It's great advice. And do it online. Do it on
Absolutely.
Facebook. Do it on a webinar.
Absolutely.
Like you
Yeah.
don't need to book the venue and the flip charts and
No.
the markers and all that cool stuff.
You really don't at all. You can just say, I'm hosting a workshop online. Come and join me. And then you're just sitting in your house and that's it. And if it needs to be live because of the interaction, you do it. You do an opening workshop and then you just tell them, I have a bigger workshop live here. And you can even join online or you can join me live in this location.
I'm
And
hosting a workshop online is so much
yes,
better than I'm doing a webinar.
yes,
Just simple words like that. I'm hosting a workshop
yes.
online. It feels like we're actually in a room together instead of, I'm watching another webinar.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, cool. All right. So Lisa's getting invited to retreats. She's doing workshops. Now you've built the business. You've been in this business now how long?
17, 18 years.
Wow, cool. So going back to yourself 17 years ago, or speaking to the person who's just getting started, what are some of the
Yeah.
biggest mistakes you made, and what advice would you give to your past self or to someone just getting started?
Wow. So the first thing definitely I would tell myself is continue to be fearless. Do not get into people telling you what you should and shouldn't do and do this and this marketing and that. Continue to be fearless because I was already instinctively in sync with what my next right things were to do. And I got caught up in all the, you should do this, you should do this, this is the new way, this is that. And I got stuck in a lot of crisis because of that. I should. And
Yeah.
basically I shut down my own flow. Very negative thing to do. I would tell myself, get advice from people who are doing what you really want to do. Follow them and watch them and learn from them. You don't have to learn from scratch. It's not necessary for you to learn from scratch because that's something else too. Ask for help would be the other one. It's okay to ask for help. Like really, really just go and ask people's opinion that you trust and get involved in letting yourself have support because that was hard for me too. I thought I had to do everything myself. You know what I mean? I would also tell myself that I would do a lot of encouragement around being masterful and encouraging my own confidence, because I had to work through my confidence versus encouraging my confidence. And, listening too much to the external world was a negative influence as well, watching, comparing, those kinds of things. I would tell myself, don't even look at that. It's unnecessary. Just look at the people you want to emulate. That's it. Everybody else has to go.
Okay, so not listening to other people or, listening to just the right advice and then trusting yourself.
Yes.
And there's that word asking again. It seems that this is
Yes.
a theme for you. You're good at it. You've probably met people who are not so good at asking. What's their problem? What do you tell them?
They're afraid. They're afraid of a few things. They're afraid of rejection. You're going to get rejected anyway. Somebody's not going to want to answer your ask. That's going to happen. So you have to get comfortable with it, period. Like you have to get comfortable with rejection to be successful. You know what I mean? It's not personal. Be willing to hustle without giving up. Don't let your unworthiness dictate your future, because often people feel unworthy of what they're doing. They're scared, they're unsure, they don't know how, and that starts dictating the decisions they're making for their own success. So I would tell, I would say that's why you're having trouble asking. You're letting that part of you that doesn't feel like you're totally worth it, and what if what you ask for doesn't really, they're not interested, or they say, who cares? If you already feel unworthy, do something about it. You have to do something about it, and asking will push you through that place. it'll push you through that feeling of I don't deserve, I'm not sure about myself, I'm not confident. Because the minute you get an answer to one of your asks, your confidence will fly high, because you realize somebody believes in me. Boom. So, you know, for one positive, the 5 negatives, they become irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's like once you get a yes, you realize, wow. And then when somebody gets excited about you, and you ask and you get a yes, wow. You know? So, I mean, people are just nervous, but the truth is you're always asking anyway. So you either ask with your head down, you ask because you hope they see you, or you just ask directly, hey, I'm looking for somebody to help me with this. You know, sometimes the other part is people don't know how to ask. They don't know how to deliver an ask, either in a really inspirational way versus like a pathetic way. Like I'm asking because I feel bad about myself, versus like, I think you would, you know, I think you would enjoy what I'm doing. Would you like to help? Would you like to be involved? You know, I would love to have you there. I love what you're up to. You know what I mean?
So ask in a way that makes them feel good, that shares your vision of how it's actually going to be good for them as well.
You got it.
Being very clear and confident in the ask. That's
and
a
know
big one.
that, yeah, and also just really like accept you're gonna have the no, because people are afraid. I don't know why, but we're so afraid of being rejected. But rejection is just a part of life, you know. So we have to like just push through that and accept it as rejection is not personal. Rejection is somebody, this doesn't fit for the person you're talking to, or it's an opportunity to learn, like maybe I need to ask in a different way. But people who are not even trying to ask, they will never learn about being in the flow and being there for themselves and their business development, you know? So it's important. It's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one. Okay. So let's see if we can apply your superpowers to the challenges of speakers. I want to talk about flow, and I want to talk about energy management.
I love it.
So when we take the stage, I like this idea that some divine, ethereal wisdom is being channeled into me, and I'm just flowing with the brilliance and the energy and all that good stuff. Yeah. What can I do to increase the likelihood of that happening every time?
I'll tell you what kind of my flow. My flow is I start any workshop, and I think you're like that too, with an intention. My intention is this and this and this. So whether it's to increase my abundance, help other people, which is, you know, increase your abundance is a healthy thing, make more exposure, really serve my audience, practice being on stage, deliver a new content. You know, you need to know what you're trying to create. And then
are you doing this, like, are you writing this down? Are you saying this out loud? Is it like, is it in the minutes before? Is it in the days before? Is there a prayer you're doing here?
Good question. Yeah, good point. So we start this the minute we have the idea for the workshop or the retreat or the event. Okay. So the minute you have the idea, you sit down and you follow that intent, because often people have an idea and then they don't follow the flow with the idea. When you're inspired, oh, that's a great idea. You have to say, okay, what does that mean for me? Where is this coming from? How do I want to deliver this opportunity to people? What is this inspiration? Go inside and explore through writing, through journaling. You know, what is it that I see in my mind? What am I excited about related to this event that I'm thinking of doing, this workshop that I'm thinking of doing? And the first thing is let that flow. Don't walk away from it and come back later. Stay with it. So either you record. What I do often is I'll be like, this is a great workshop. And I record myself. Here's the ideas I have. Here's what I want to create. Here's what I want people to have, what experience I want them to have.
You use like a little app on your phone to record your voice?
I do.
What do you do with the recording later?
I transcribe it.
Okay.
And then I make bullet points around what the topics are that came through, or whatever the idea is. Then I think, who can I serve? Okay, so that's now all of a sudden you're in the flow with yourself. And I also do this other thing. I go into visualization and I ask my inner higher self kind of thing, my soul, my higher consciousness, what is it that you want me to do? So you separate yourself from a person going to build something to some other aspect of yourself as well that wants to deliver something maybe very valuable, information that's super valuable, that you don't even know what it's going to mean to other people until you do it. So you're allowing yourself to go into this meditative state with yourself, where you're going, okay, spirit, what is it that you want me to do? What a great idea. Where did this come from?
Yeah.
Follow me? So you kind of activate this higher awareness of yourself. It's a state of mind. It's like a light switch. So I go from here, into the upper part, the upper galaxy of myself, let's say, and I start to connect. Okay, how would this serve? Like, universe, how would this serve? What's the bigger picture of this experience? You have to kind of do it. You either journal, or I'm a visualizer, so I'll sit and just kind of let the images flow into my mind. But the minute you ask outside of yourself, the divine part of you, let's say, the universal flow of you, all of a sudden you're going to tune into a whole other world of possibilities related to the actions you have to take. It's like a natural thing that flows. You're
talking to this space, you're asking it, hey, spirit, or hey, universe, but you're not calling it, hey, Lisa.
Nope.
Because Lisa's Lisa, but you're going outside of Lisa, but it's like some part of Lisa connected to spirit, universe.
Yep.
Okay.
We call it the soul, it's like, you're asking questions of your soul. You're asking questions of the creator. If you have faith and you believe in the universal energy, you're asking for that. You're asking self, body, soul, spirit, and universe. Hey, you guys, you're my team. What are we doing here? What's the bigger picture?
I like it.
The picture of this event, this workshop, this offering that I want to deliver to the world. Is this at the right time? And you ask real questions. You activate that intuitive funnel. You ask real questions. Who is this going to serve? What do I need to be in order to create this? What are the topics you want me to offer? And you get a summary of everything based on, like, I call it the spirit team. It's like we all have our own soul.
I love that.
Good. It's like
the spirit team.
Yeah, it's like your body, your humanness, your divine soul, and the universe itself. And your intuition is the connector of all those pieces and parts of you. So your intuition and your instincts kind of roll together, and then you realize, wow, you just see the whole thing in front of you.
Okay.
Activate the team. It's superpower team.
Superpower team.
Yeah, superpower team. Everybody has one.
Okay, so I run these 3-day events, and I'm anxious before, I'm kind of like stressed during, and afterwards I'm a zombie.
Yes.
Like, I'm dead. I can't even like I pull into the driveway and I'm like, I don't know if I can get inside. I'm parked. I don't even know if I can get out of it.
Right on.
And I would love to be a lot more energized and a lot more grounded and just like cool in my training, but I'm just like not right. I'm not there. I'm sure I'm much more calm than I used to be. But what is the secret to the flow and managing the energy and being fully grounded through these experiences that we're guiding as retreat leaders and seminar leaders?
Absolutely. Couple of things that will really, truly help you. First of all, is to trust your content, to trust yourself, to go before you even start, before you're getting on the stage, you're looking and you're going, do I trust myself? Do I trust myself? Do I trust this content? Is there anything missing? You'll get a yes, and you're going to relax, because what's happening is there's like this nervousness around trust. Can I deliver? Is it going to be okay? And trust becomes an issue, and then the body goes a little bit wild. The human in you gets stressed. There's techniques, visualizing, prayer, meditation before, seeing yourself grounded, seeing yourself on the stage, managing that visualization. Before I always get nervous too, and I always do the same thing. And I do this prayer: Creator, talk through me into everybody, into the heart of all the people that are there. Help me be of the greatest service. Help me to, reveal into the eyes and minds of all of my audience the next right thing for them through all the nuggets of gold that I'm going to share. Help me find my words spontaneously and in the flow. And I get into this place, and if I'm really nervous, I get on my knees even and just be like, sit in prayer and just become in this humble service position. And then I relax. And once you get on the stage, you have to remember, once you're on the stage, you're going to be just fine, because you're already in your flow and you know what you've created. The other thing is, don't manage anything. If you're doing a 3-day event, do not manage any of the details. You have to have somebody doing it all for you.
Mm.
So
I had that for the first time. This last one I did for the
yeah,
first time. I
amazing.
went on a date night with my wife the night before. Normally I would have just been like printing handouts and running around.
Yes, yeah, you
And
can't.
yeah,
You have to honor yourself.
that does make all the difference.
Yeah, you've got to honor yourself. You have to honor yourself as the deliverer of as much energy to your audience as possible, which means your needs are at the highest priority during that time. And the service you're providing through your energy is of a high priority too. So you've got to take care of that so you're not, stressed and overwhelmed. So trusting somebody to manage all the details, and yeah, they can ask you questions, but preferably not. You've had enough time to not be disturbed, to just constantly be in a flow. After every break, instead of talking to everybody, go away for a couple of minutes, or make sure in the breaks you have 5 minutes alone where you regroup, you just recollect your energy, you download some light, you ground your feet in the earth, and then you're like, you relax back into it. Putting your feet, I know this is strange, putting your feet in cold water.
Uh-huh.
And your feet in cold water, or the palms of your hand, you put cold water in the center, will rejuvenate your body and clear out any kind of excess energy that's there.
Ah, there's a nice little tactic. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you just clear your vibration. Boom.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw the documentary on Tony Robbins, I'm Not Your Guru, and it shows how he does this like little
That too.
like little
Yes.
pump thing up right before he goes out.
Yes,
And,
that's also great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also, the people who get on stage and just be really calm, grounded, right?
Yeah.
So how do we find like the right ritual that we should do to get us into the right space for our presentations, workshops?
Great question. That's a great question. So Tony Robbins is full of energy. That's why he has to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason. He's going out there to fully and completely perform. If you're doing an event that's more mental and introspective, if it's depending on what it is how you're figuring out and just determining what you need to be doing. I love what he does in the sense of, like, my thing is what I told you. It's the same as what he's doing. It's like you're setting a tone with yourself that becomes a repetitive cycle that your body connects. We're going to speak, okay? Here we go. We're getting ready to speak. We're getting ready to give. So it's a way to tell your body to activate yourself. That's what that whole, setup is for. So you just have to know what you need to do. If you need a lot of energy, great. You have to have something that makes sense for you, okay? For me, it's getting on my knees. For me, it's my most important thing that I do is connecting to the creator and saying, listen, here we go. I'm terrified. You better figure it out, because I don't know what I'm going to do,
Come on,
so just
spirit team,
on you.
yeah.
That's it. That's my thing. That's what I do.
Cool.
But I have friends who have an activation process like Tony, and that's what makes them feel great. So, how do you choose? You choose based on who you are as a person, what you're going to deliver, and what makes sense to you. So some people it's visualizing just before they get on stage. Some people it's activating a physical activity. And sometimes some people it's like me, you're just connecting. You're making that deep sense of connection and totally giving yourself up into this place of service from this intuitive divine space. And some people need to plan. You have to know yourself. This is a key. You have to know who you are, and you have to do the same activity every time you're going to get on stage and speak, because that puts you in the right flow. Try a variety on, do a couple of different efforts, like try it on. I tried this time. I'll do my physical setup plus my internal setup and see what works. So what gets you into that place of relaxation and flow and confidence?
Hey, that's good. My physical setup and my internal setup.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I used to do these 3-day events for a company called Learning Tree International. My physical setup was like all the pens and the books had to be just right. So you walk in, it's like, oh, this is nice. And then I always decided I'm going to treat myself like an athlete when I'm a trainer. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to be super healthy. They're my healthiest days when I'm training, because I'm like peak performance body, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Physical setup and internal setup.
The physical setup too, that I do want to say, is breathing. Before you get on stage, you have to you need to like at least 3 really, because you have to release the toxins in the system. The other thing I do is I carry crystals, like just for grounding. Like, I mean, I'm like, I love that stuff. So crystals have different properties that help us communicate and speak. And there's also energy shifting you can do as well if you understand the energy bodies through your chakras as well. If you visualize yourself in a certain energetic container, it actually represents communicating efficiently. So there's really a lot of things a person can try.
Yeah.
The breathing is very important though. Really, really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crystals.
Yeah.
Gotta add that.
I just threw it out there. But so crystals.
No, I was wondering when we were going to get to crystals. and
so funny.
Sage smudging. You ever do any sage smudging?
I do. I don't love sage, so I don't use it as much. What I love is visualization. I love using incense and crystals more. Sage it's very good, obviously. I just don't love the smell, so it kind of like. But you do things like you take 3 incense sticks or sage, and you basically, you know, you clear out all your fields. You make sure you do under your hands and under your feet and around your throat before you get on stage.
Okay.
Because it's this center that you want to have the most clear. The other visualization that I do is I'll sit and relax, and I visualize my throat front to back expanding into the audience along with my heart. So my heart center and my throat chakra are expanding out into the audience, and I'm also receiving them back. So it's a way for the hearts to be connected. You can also do a visualization of seeing your heart touching everybody in the audience. So you tell yourself, I will feel what needs to be said because I'm connected to all of you. And you could even ask the audience to do that with you. Say, let's get connected. I want you to think of the things you want me to talk about so we get in a flow. Let's get in an amazing flow together so we're totally connected and I can be the most efficient.
Okay, this reminds me of something very important you said before we press record. You said just now, I'm going to feel what needs to be said. And what you said before we press record is about how you prepare. You don't memorize and script.
No.
You trust that you're going to know what to say. And so tell me a little bit about that. What's your process in getting ready for an event in terms of what are you going to say? And why is scripting and memorizing not right for you?
Well, I've tried it, first of all, and failed miserably. Because once I'm there and I do all my personal rituals and connection, and I want you to know, like, when the people in every audience are going to be uniquely different and need something from you. So you can have a copy paste event and people know what the event is and they're going because of what they understood was delivered to them. And then you can have the understanding, like, I'm here with each of these people and they're here with me at this perfect place and time. And what I need to deliver might have to be a variety versus just what I've scripted, because once I'm going to realize the audience's face. So you have to be flexible. They're reacting. They're not reacting. They're looking at me funny. They don't understand what I'm saying. Who are they? So the flexibility that I let myself have allows me to make a connection with their energy, what's going on, and also how they're responding to me. So when I ask questions like, do you understand what I'm saying? Does everybody get that? And like only 10 people put their hands up. I know I need to open up to a different flow. If you have something scripted, it's really hard to do that. If it's too scripted, it's really hard to do that. So what I do is I have points. I definitely create a sense of points. I create the topic. I'll create, when it's a PowerPoint situation, I'll have a very basic PowerPoint, which leaves me a ton of flexibility. So I'm able to share on the pictures that are there, you know, but it's not necessarily, you know, the other thing that is very important about too much scripting, unless it's a learning event, that makes sense to me. You want to give materials, you've got to cover them, is you really lose opportunities. We lose opportunities if we're so confined to expand ourselves, right? To say things that we wouldn't have said or didn't say the last time because they just came to us, bam.
Yeah.
You know, so our own knowledge gets limited as well.
So having the freedom to say what needs to be said when you feel it and not feeling constrained by a script. And all of these rituals you have put yourself in a space where you are prepared to receive and hear the what needs to be said.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's also a deep sense of trust that I have. And I really have this deep sense of trust because when I do the things that I do before with my prayer, my meditation, my visualization, but mostly when I have a strong faith. So you have to know where your strength is. If it's personal confidence, if it's in your ability to speak, if it's in your ability like me to channel that information, your faith and trust in your strength as a person has to be key in your setup. Mm. So I know when I do the last part, just before I get on stage and I tell the universe, listen, I am of service, talk through me, I get the most comfortable. That's when I get the most like relaxed.
I am of service, talk through me. That's
yes.
good. That's good. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa LaJoie. If you're listening, please say the last name with me because it's a lot of fun. LaJoie. Am I saying it right?
Yes, you are.
And you're French Canadian?
No, I'm not. I am from Montreal, Quebec, but I am not French Canadian, but that is a French name.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Montreal. How does someone work with you directly?
Yeah, the best way is to get on my website, fire me off an email, lisa@tappingintoit.com, just out of curiosity, how can I heard you, let me connect with you, go on the website, my Facebook, I have 1,000 ways you can reach me. So what I like the most is getting an email or getting a connection saying, hey, I heard you here, I'd love to chat with you and let's just get on a call and have a conversation so I can explain all the different ways that we can have some fun together. You know what I mean? I love meeting people live. It's so, it's important that we exchange and we see each other out. So, yeah.
That's great. Lisa@tappingintoit.com.
Yes.
Any funny spelling there? It's just tapping into it.
Exactly.
.com. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us on this podcast. And it's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And for me too. And, I love what you're up to. It's fantastic. Keep it up. It's great.
All right. Stay tuned to the next episode of the Expert Speaker Podcast. Thank you for listening to the Expert Speaker Podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave us a rating so that more people can discover the Expert Speaker Podcast and so more people can be empowered to share their message. Be sure to go to www.expertspeaker.com and take the masterclass to learn how to grow your business and make money speaking. It's totally free and will change your business. If you're ready to work with Expert Speaker, you can apply. Just go to expertspeaker.com/apply and someone from our team will be in touch with you to help you grow your business with public speaking. That's expertspeaker.com/apply. We'll see you in the next episode.